listen, I know, you're sick of townhouse builds. I know, I kind of am too, kind of not. But I promise this will be the last one on my channel for a little while. I have already got the next video filmed, which will be a tiny home. So it's the complete opposite. So if you're getting sick of these builds, this will be the last one for a little while. Although I do have some more planned later on, but just for now, I'm going to take a break for rent builds and kind of shared lots and stuff. Obviously starting after this video. Yeah, this is another townhouse build. I'm not going to do too much of an intro because we're just going to get straight into it really, and yeah. Okay, so I know I literally just filmed the intro, but I was very hungry and my video needed to export because my CPU can't handle my editing software right now, as well as filming on OBS. So I took like a 2 or 3 hour break so I could go make some buldak noodles. And if you don't know what buldak noodles are, they're like these like TikTok hyped really spicy noodles, and they're so good. They're worth the hype. And I got some carbonara ones recently, or my husband bought me them because I was a bit sad, so I got some of them. So I had a big old bowl of them with some 2 eggs in it. Oh, so good. Anyway, less about food, but yeah, long story short, I got noodles all over my chin, and I've been away, so I've been eating. So back to the build. So I have seen a lot of townhouse builds, but what I haven't seen are what I think are actual townhouse builds. I mean, I say that when I originally built this, I built this like about 2 weeks ago now. I just haven't been able to film this voiceover until now. When I built this, I hadn't seen any, but Lil Simsy has recently done a video where she built like a 3-story townhouse, because all the townhouses that I've seen until now essentially were just 2-story townhouses with like medium wall height and then like a fake upstairs sort of thing that no one ever used. And that's not quite realistic. Townhouses are long, skinny builds in a long terrace. Like, usually you don't just get the 3, you usually get like a whole row of like 10 of them, like down a whole street. So that's typically what a townhouse is. And to make up for the fact that they're so skinny and long, they have an extra floor, or typically 2 extra floors. At least, I don't think I've ever seen a townhouse that's just 2 floors. That's just a terraced house in the UK. It's not a townhouse. I think a townhouse is a very specific style of long, skinny, and very tall, because if you don't have room to expand sideways or lengthways, you go up. That's why there's like a lot of houses in like slums and stuff like that where they're really, really high up. And it's also why there's a lot of old houses were built upwards, or a lot of terrace houses are built upwards, because there's just not a lot of space otherwise. So yeah, that's the whole point of townhouses, and I haven't seen anyone build a 3 or 4-story one until Lil Sim's video recently where she did build a 4-story one. So I wanted to build like a 4-story one. I already started doing a 3-story one, then I just did an attic space, and I thought that's big enough to fit in like actual like an actual room. So I thought, sod it, let's make it a 4-story townhouse, and I think it kind of sells pretty well. I've kind of ignored the whole video so far, just talking about the townhouses, but right now, I'm trying to do like an under the stairs bathroom space, like not fully under the stairs, but like partially under the stairs, and this did work for a little bit, and then it just stopped working. Like you'll see in a second, like this did start to work, but for some reason, when it worked and I tried it again, it didn't work after that. And I was just like, why is this not working? And if you put a door there, it worked. If they didn't go through the door, I think it was something to do with the archways or something. I'm not too sure. So I tried different archways, I tried different doors, and it just wasn't really seeming to work, because I wanted to have some sort of under the stairs space. And I'm really annoyed that we can't get that to work, but like it works there. And then as soon as I move things around, it doesn't want to work anymore. So I actually fiddled with this quite a lot. I cut a lot of this space out, to try and get it to work in some way, because your Sims can walk underneath stairs if they're high enough. So I think they need, I don't know exactly where it is on the thing, but they do need a certain amount of space to walk under, like at least their height. So like the kind of nails you got in the wall, you need the 3rd set up at least of space. So where the sink is, she should be able to walk under that no problem. And things like desks and stuff like that are an exception, as long as the chair has enough space within that like 3-dot high space. I'm pretty sure it works fine, but I couldn't get it to work consistently, so I just switched to a small toilet and sink instead, and that toilet is really, really good. I think that's that's a spa day toilet, and the toilet itself is very, very small, and you can push it so far into the wall and it still works no problem. I love using that toilet for like built-ins against shelves and stuff like that, or like cabinets and stuff for bathrooms. So yeah, that worked, and that was great. So it worked all fine. I do end up actually changing it later on, but for now I just copied them into the other houses. I have also only really done, I've cut out like all the floor planning, because honestly it took a bit of time to figure out the floor plans, and the video would have been far too long if I left the floor plans in for all of them, because they are slightly different between each house. Not overly, but slightly different between each house. And I also only kept in the first building fully furnished. I didn't furnish the middle one on camera at all, and for the end house I only filmed the downstairs because bedrooms I think are a bit of a snooze fest, and there's only so much you can talk about for a bedroom. So I'll obviously tour this build after the speed build is done. So we'll go into the game after this bit and go and tour it. But I think there's only so much you can do for a bedroom space, so I was just like, nah, I'm not gonna bother like keeping that in. I did film the whole thing, but I was like, the video would have been, I think, about 50 minutes long just for the speed build if I kept everything in. So I decided not to do that, and that's with me not even filming the middle house. So could you imagine how long the video would be if I kept all that in? Like, no. And bearing in mind, I think this bit is like 25 minutes long as it is. Roughly about 25 minutes long. So if you can imagine how long it took me to furnish the other 2 rooms, if it added like an extra half an hour, sped up by 600 speed, I think I sped this up by. So yeah, it took a long time. I also cut out fanning around with the windows a little bit as well, because the windows, townhouses are meant to look like they're just covered in windows, but in The Sims it doesn't really translate very well if you don't use the right sort of window. But the issue is that if you want to have rooms upstairs, you're probably going to have a wall going through the window as well, so you have to be kind of careful how you do it in The Sims. So the windows aren't exactly, like, perfect, but I think they still go well. They don't line up with downstairs windows, but I don't think that's uncommon either, because you have a door downstairs most of the time. So I think that's actually quite normal for that to be a thing, but I did have an issue. So I've been going through, whilst I've been chatting rubbish, we're going through kind of like putting filler furniture in, because this unit is meant to be a starter home if you start with enough Sims. I think this ends up costing around about 25,000 simoleons, I think, for the whole lot, which actually isn't that bad considering the fact that I think it's a 4-bedroom with an office space, so technically a 5-bedroom house. That's actually not bad, having 25,000. And if you don't know, your starter funds change depending on how many Sims you have in the household. So you start off basic 20,000. Of every additional Sim in your household, you get an extra 2,000, and that counts for animals as well. So if you have a horse or a cat or a dog, you also get an additional 2,000. So if you started this, I furnished it for at least 1 adult, but you know, you can do a double bedroom, so mum and dad. There's an infant room, there's a child's room, and there's a teenage room, so that's 5 Sims. So that should leave you with 28,000 if my maths is correct. So if you wanted to add a pet onto that, then you can. I wanted to do like a bigger starter house lot, because you don't tend to get a lot of them. So I wanted to try and get that and work out roughly like cheap enough so you can move in and you'd have enough money for bills to get you started for the first week before you got a job and got more like money in and stuff like that. So I think I think it looks pretty good. It doesn't really look like a starter home, to be honest. You'll see there, I just tested that. I moved the room around again. Like, you can see that I tested it, and the door goes into the toilet. That obviously doesn't matter. It's just like an aesthetic sort of thing. But I remembered we have the sliding door. Like, I never use the sliding door, but I actually really like it. My mother-in-law, she has a sliding door into her bathroom, and I thought, well, that's such a small space. Why not put a sliding door there? Bit of decoration on that wall. Looks better than a regular door, and it also doesn't clip into the toilet anymore, so that's pretty fun. So all the units do have that same door as well. I do change all the rooms like that. But yeah, so I wanted to have obviously 3 different lots, and I wanted them to be in 3 different styles. The starter home one is pretty generically furnished. It has got some colour in it. It has obviously got some sort of stylistic choices to it, but it's mostly quite generic. It's not really like a overly stylized house. It's got some clutter in it, but not too much. It's kind of got some skill building stuff in there. But it's a pretty like neutral build, I think, with some pops of colour. Obviously some things will not be to everyone's taste, but hopefully it's easy enough to change them. So that one's a starter home if you have enough Sims. The middle one is a middle price. I think it's about 40,000 for the middle lot. And that one is a bit more actually, is that even a bit more furnished? I don't think it is actually a bit more furnished, to be honest. I think it's just that's very much if you have a lot of kids. So if you have a lot of kids, that's kind of the one for you. Because I've used all 5 bedrooms in that one. I don't think I did an actual office space. I'm pretty sure I did all 5 bedrooms for that, but we'll go and see that afterwards. And then the end lot is meant to be very much renovated. These guys are ultra modern, very sleek, quite minimalist, but also like quite like it's very black and white. It's not to everyone's taste. It's to my taste, to be honest. I quite like the whole black and white aesthetic. If you couldn't tell, black and white. I quite like the aesthetic. It's very much open plan. They've obviously done quite a lot, and the floor plan for that one is quite different overall, to be honest. So that's definitely much more of a renovated one, and there are kids' rooms in there, but I imagine it would be more for people who just want like a big house, so they live in the city, probably have some really like expensive jobs, like lawyers and doctors and stuff like that, so they have like a townhouse in the city, and they just have more rooms than they actually need. To the point where I just made the attic room like an actual like storage space. I didn't even bother making it like a bedroom. I just couldn't be bothered with that. So yeah, the end one's like that, and I think that one's about 50 to 60,000 simoleons, so it's quite more expensive. Obviously you can money cheat for those ones. I wish that apartment, that the units like this, like the shared accommodation ones, I wish that they worked more like actual apartments doing The Sims, where you just rent the place and the furniture cost changes how much rent you get charged, but you don't have to buy the furniture, because that's how it is. Like, you move in, you pay a set amount of rent, you don't pay like for the full lot value, but the rent is determined by the lot value. That makes sense. I wish it was more like that, because it kind of is annoying that you have to be able to afford all the furniture in the lot. I suppose if you want to get around that, you could just get rid of all the furniture in like a pre-built one maybe, and then just buy it and then add your own furniture as you go. But like, the whole point of these is to just move in and it's furniture, it's easy and it's done. But I wish it worked more like that, but hey ho, you can't get what you want. I ended up testing, because there's 5 bedrooms in the, well, 4 bedrooms, but like 5 Sims really in here. I wanted more tables, like table space. I wanted more chairs, so I do end up going in. I thought I was doing that now. I guess not. But later on I do go in and change the kitchen layout around. I think in real life the current layout would have looked better and functioned better, but in The Sims it gets extra tables and stuff, and it's whatever. Upstairs in the attic space though is a complete teenager room, basically. There's some skill building stuff in here, and they actually have the biggest room in the house. I did consider making this the master bedroom, and I guess there's nothing stopping you from making it the master bedroom. Just maybe like scale down the young feel of it a bit more. But I thought it'd be nice for the teen to have like, their own full-on space upstairs. They don't have their own bathroom, which kind of sucks. But they have, you know, got a lot of space upstairs so they can just be themselves and just chill out. There's like I imagine some reading space in that, like in the bay window a little bit. There's an easel, so I imagine they're quite artsy. I even changed their door, because the doors, I always feel that High School Years has those different doors. But I thought the teenager might like their own space. In such a busy house with an infant and at least one kid, they might want their own place to chill out and just breathe. So I thought I'd give them like the upstairs space. But yeah, you could move your main sim up there. I also kind of thought, like, because you almost always start off playing the parent and then your kids get older as you go, and then at that point you start getting used to having other Sims in your household. But if you get this with just you and like your partner, maybe a baby, it'll be really annoying to have to keep going all the way up the floors to make them go to bed and then come all the way back down again to like deal with the baby or go to work. So I thought, gameplay wise as well, it probably makes more sense to have the like parents downstairs, like on the first floor. Although the room is a lot smaller, probably makes a bit more sense. Yeah, that's kind of what my thoughts were. So all of the houses, apart from the black house, because you've got the blue, the pink, and the black, all of the houses are the same. The main bedroom is like the set on the first floor. At least I'm pretty sure it is. And then the black house is on the 3rd floor, but none of the bedrooms are in the attic. They're more like, apart from obviously the blue house, they're more kind of just generic houses, rooms, sorry. I got quite annoyed during this bit because that is not a floor that matches the stone off the pavement, and that's what I'm doing there. I was trying to find so many different floors to see if they match, and they just don't. Like, the colours were either way off or the pattern was just too different, and it just kind of annoyed me. So I ended up going for this brick, and I do think I would like to change that. I didn't do it for the full thing because I assumed that you'd have your own separate paving slabs that belong to like the council or something, and then the brick would be your own one. I do kind of regret the brick choice. I think it was a bit minging. But I can't go back and change it now. I also realised that for this first house, It's very blue on the bottom floor. Then on the first floor, it's very blue again, and on the second floor, it's very pink, and on the like attic, it's very blue. So I didn't really think about that too much, but it kind of is. There's also, I don't know if I went back and changed it. I feel like I might have. We'll have to see in the what am I trying to say? In the tour, that's the word. I'm pretty sure I changed the layout of one of the bedrooms actually. Because one of the, I think I did, because the office space in this one doesn't have a bedroom, and I was like, that's quite depressing. So I'm pretty sure I moved the office space into the bathroom, like the big long bathroom, and then moved the big long bathroom into the office space, and that way, like, all the bedrooms have a window and the bathroom doesn't. And that's one thing I didn't want to have, really, because since I've moved to Scotland, I've been here for nearly 10 years, none of my bathrooms have had windows in them, and it really genuinely annoys me. So I'd project my need to have a window in my bathroom onto the Sims and onto the builds that I have. So it's very uncommon for me to have bathrooms without windows, and I'm pretty sure in each of these houses, because of the downstairs toilet, I'm pretty sure I've got 2 bathrooms in each house, maybe even 3 bathrooms in each house that don't have a window, and it genuinely makes me really sad that I don't have that. But hey, needs must, I guess. It just annoys me, and I could technically fit one on the side of the small toilet in this one, but then I feel like I'd want to mirror the other one where the stairs are on the other side, and I just didn't want to do that, so I just left it, and I'll just deal with it. We are in the end house now. This is the black house. So this one, like I said, is trying to go for very modern. I scoot the counters a little bit here because I just wanted it to be a little bit closer in, but not quite fully in that close. So there is a bit of visual clipping here. I also scoot some of the islands a bit closer together as well to fit like an extra one and have a bit more than 1 tile wide walking space. So there is a bit of visual glitching because the white countertop textures kind of freak out a little bit. I don't think it's that noticeable personally. And because this is the more expensive house, I do think it's less likely that you'd move into this one as well. So I don't think it's that noticeable. I mean, when I was playing with it, like, obviously this footage is very sped up. So when I was playing with it, I did notice it a little bit, but it's not that annoying. And if it is for you, you can literally just move the counters over and leave it like that, or like get rid of the end one, or just have them in their own spaces. Like, they still function perfectly fine. It's just a little bit of like visual clipping or like a little bit of a visual bug. So it's nothing too big. It's nothing too bad. But yeah, I just wanted like an extra counter space on there. So there were 3 seats, but I didn't want them to like really go too far in. So I decided to do that a little bit, but it's not noticeable in my opinion. It's a little bit there, but it doesn't matter. And if you change the swatches of it as well, if it wasn't a white swatch and it had like a black countertop, I don't think you'd even see it at all. So it's whatever. So yeah, I tried doing this very white and black, but there's also a lot of blue accents. At least downstairs, there's a lot of blue accents. I can't remember the upstairs or anything at all, to be completely honest, but that was the plan, to bring in a little bit more like homeliness and a bit less of just like the stark black and white cold feeling. By putting a bit of blue in there, so you know, get rid of the cold by putting a cold colour in. But there's just so many nice blue swatches. There's a lot of blue, and blue swatches that, because there are so many different variations, they're so easy to mix and match. So I just thought, sod it, why not? I could have gone for like a red, black, white, and red, but that feels kind of like, I don't know, first season of Glee. I don't know. It just feels like, did they have that? Yeah, they had like the black shirt, red tie. Didn't Finn have that when they're singing like "Don't Stop Believing"? I don't know. Weird reference there, but if you understand, you understand. But yeah, I could have gone for like red, but there's just less red things in the game that look nice. I think some of the red just doesn't look good, and some of the items that have red are like hyper modern, and I doesn't really like the look of them. So I was like, nah, just whatever. Yeah, I wanted to use these like column things on the wall, and I had a vision for it, and I don't think my vision really came to life. So it didn't turn out exactly how I wanted it to turn out, but it still looks like how I kind of wanted it. I did a bit of messing around with it. I cut out some of it, I'm pretty sure. I did have a bit of a play with it, and I'm sure I cut some of it out because it's just like, why have I included this in here? But yeah, I kind of just did that. And I also used the counters, like the cabinets from the kitchen, as like a fake console table sort of thing. I did want to have plants on here, and you'll see me messing around with it later on. I wanted to have plants on here, and you could of course raise the plants to sit, like to look like they're sitting on there. But then when the walls are down, as you can see, you can't see the cabinets. And if the walls are down, you just raise the plant up, you're gonna have some floating plants there, and there's no cabinets there to sit on there. So I had the idea to put them on some floating shelves, like the ones that came with Dream Home Decorate, the square ones, or regular actual shelves, but not everything slots to the regular shelves, but they slot to the Dream Home Decorator ones. So I was like, right, okay, and I just couldn't get it to work right, because if something's slotted onto a shelf and you put the walls down, the thing also disappears, so you wouldn't have floating plants up. If you had the walls up, you would see it. And it just kind of annoyed me that I couldn't have him like that. Like, I probably could have if I layered different types of shelves, but it would have just been so messy, and I just couldn't be asked the aggro for it, so I decided not to bother. And it's annoying because it just looks so plain. Like, I would love something like keys, like the phone item on there, or like a book, but I wanted to be quite minimalist still, and it was just a bit of a nightmare. So yeah, I didn't end up going for it, but I do kind of do some funky wallpaper back on there. Like, that's not finished yet. I do change that a little bit more. Just trying to get like the general furnishings. And to be honest, for this one, I was kind of all over the place. I really didn't know what I wanted to do with it, because I wanted to keep it like quite sleek, but also have some sort of personality to it. And I really just kind of struggled to figure out what I wanted to do with this. So yeah, it took me a little while. So again, I cut a lot of it out, which is why I didn't bother putting the rest of the footage in here, because it was just too much. But yeah, I ended up putting the supernatural wallpaper back there as well in a minute. But yeah, the kitchen seemed a bit plain. I did furnish the kitchen quite a lot because it's such a big kitchen. I did put quite a few clutter things in there to make it feel a bit more at home. For some reason, I decided I really, really wanted a microwave with like a tea corner. So I was like spending so much time trying to put the mugs on top of the microwave so that it didn't take up space on the counter, so the counter didn't look too busy. I spent a lot of time on that. I don't even know why I bothered, but I just did. And yeah, this is pretty much this almost done. I've only got like 2 minutes left to talk. I feel like I've been talking quite a lot about nothing in particular. Like, I feel like there's so much more that I wanted to talk about, and I just haven't talked about it. But yeah, I don't know. Like I said earlier though, the next build will be a tiny build, so it's not going to be another house like this. I have made a list of video ideas that I have, and I will be doing another, like, well, I say another, I will be doing like an actual kind of village build soon, or like some sort of town build. Like, I've seen a lot of people doing it, but I have an idea to do one that's like Venice inspired, and I don't know where I came up with that idea, but like lakes and stuff and houses built right up to the end of the lake, or the pond. I guess you'd have to do it. You could maybe do it with pools, but I have the idea for that, so I have no idea if it's going to work, so that would be quite an experimental one. And I also want to do, like, I think I mentioned it in the last video, maybe like a series where I build one house in the little village at a time per video sort of thing, so I want to do that. I've got quite a few video ideas written down, but if you do have any more video ideas for maybe some challenges and stuff like that, let me know. I have got the base game no cheats one as a challenge to do, because I struggle to build with just base game without cheats, so that'll be an interesting one to include. Yeah, if you have got any other video ideas, please let me know. I've got quite a few, as I said, and I'm going to try and get some videos out. I'm going to try and do 2 a month. I am well aware that we're near the end of January now and I haven't got one out yet. This will be the first one out this year, so Happy New Year. So I'm well aware of that, but I'm going to try and do 2 a month at least, to try not spread myself too thin. But I want to try and actually get back into doing things in a structured way, which I've never done. So I say back into doing things, but just doing things in a structured way. Because I'm so bored of doing nothing, like, and just like having my days go by. It makes me kind of sad that I'm just like wasting my day, but you know, we roll. So this speed build part is nearly done, so we're gonna go in and tour the build in just a second. I also finished the outside of it off camera too. There's not really much to do with it. It's just a few different like front gardens and stuff, so the front of it will look slightly different. But yeah, obviously the whole middle one, you haven't seen anything in that. You haven't really seen the floor plan properly, and even then I did change the floor plan on, I think, at least on the middle building quite a bit, and I'm pretty sure in the original start home one. So I did change that just a little bit to try and get a bit of variation in there, but also make things flow a little bit better. So there are some variations. But yeah, whilst I'm fanning around with these plants, like I was talking about earlier, I'm just going to cut this speed build bit here short, and we're just going to go straight in and have a look at the overall build and all the houses and stuff like that. So let's go. Okay, so we're in the build now, and this is what it looks like. I built this in Brightchester. I think this is like the starter home lot, which is meant to look like a townhouse, but obviously it isn't quite a townhouse. And it looks so nice in like late evening. Like any other time of the day, it just looks really bad. Like the lighting is not good, but like early evening, it looks so good. So this is what it looks like. The three houses, you've got the blue, the yellow, wait, yellow? yellow. Did I change that to yellow? Oh, I did change it to yellow. Oh my god, I did. Got the blue, the yellow, and the, the black. There's a reason why I changed it to yellow. It's because everything in there got more yellow than pink. Because I'd already done a lot of pink on this side and stuff like that. So yeah, I was like really confused. I was like, oh my god, had I not saved the right version? I actually recently just went through and deleted all of my saves in The Sims because I had so many different ones. I have MC Command Center, and that has autosave when you're playing, and it just kept like messing up who was in my saves and who wasn't in my saves. So I decided just to get rid of all my Sims saves and just start anew. So I had to re-download this lot. So I thought I'd maybe ruined it. Anyway, this is what they all look like. So you've got the 3 separate lots. So we'll go through the blue house real quick, just because we've already seen it. Just try to ignore this side. We've already seen it, but let's just try and have another look through it. I don't think I really changed much. So this is the starter home, and this home, for reference, oh, actually, this cost 28,495 simoleons. So if you had like a pet or something, so it's maybe not quite a starter home, but what you could do is you could delete the furniture from one of the bedrooms or something, or unassign it for your lot and maybe make it shared or something like that, but like lock the doors, I don't know. So it's just about a starter home if you have enough Sims. If you have enough Sims, it is. So yeah, this is what it looks like. It's very plain. I hate that this is a visual bug right now. But it's plain, but it's still got some like character to it, so it's quite doable. If you wanted to, you can come in and just change the furniture out. I really liked how this matched this though. Like this is the for rent one, and this is from Growing Together. And yeah, through here is the kitchen. This is how I changed the setup of it. I don't know if it really showed much of the speed build. I think it was done pretty quickly. So I think in real life, it would have been better off having it like the way that I had it earlier, this way. And then the table tucked into this little nook. I feel like that's more how it would be in real life, because this is just like a really awkward space for a dining table. But in The Sims, I think because this can fit all the extra Sims in there as well, I think it just makes a bit more sense to have it that way. It's a bit of a small kitchen, but I think it still works really well. A little bit of decoration over there. I would have loved, oh, I was gonna say I would have loved a column there. There is one there. Never mind. I love the column there. And we've got the really small bathroom in here, which is perfectly functional. Up the first set of stairs, then we have got the office. So this is where I actually switched it around. So this before was a bathroom, and I've since made it into an office space. So we've got some sort of skill wood, and there's obviously no computer because it'd be too expensive. There's some sort of like office space to do some homework and stuff like that, a chess table to get some logic skill up. This could be an extra bedroom, so if you did decide to have like an extra sim in here to get some more household funds, this could be the extra bedroom. And I mean, realistically, you could fit a bunk bed in here instead of a load of space, or like 2 single beds or something like that. So you could fit 2 more sims in here if you really wanted to, but that'd be a massive household, and I don't play with households that big. It stresses me out. So there's that room, and then in here we have just the bathroom. It's very simple, again, no decorations. I wish I could have decorated it a bit more, but the problem with this build is before the furniture was in here, because of all the walls and the windows, and even just the paint as well, the lot itself without anything in it, I think cost 9,000 simoleons. So I already, like, considering the fact that like normally starter homes are 20,000, and then if you're trying to start with a couple sims, like this is 28,000, but technically all the furnishings in here are under the amount for a starter home, just because there's so many walls in here and so many staircases. That really bumped up the price, but there are things you can do. You could change the staircase that you've got for a cheaper one, change some floorings around and stuff. I don't think I'll use that many expensive floorings though. You could even just put a regular bath in it. There are some things you could do if you really wanted to stay in this one. Some things you could do to make it more of a more of a starter home price. The corridors in these are all quite skinny, but I think that's fine because it's a very skinny house and there's nothing else you can do. In here is just a small kids room. This is very blue. Like I said, it is all, well actually that's quite beige, that used to be blue. It's all pretty blue in this floor, but it's still quite cute. You've got some toys, you've got like your little Blarfy there. Very plain room, but I think it's pretty generic, so you could use it for anyone. Up the stairs then we have the other bathroom up here. So ideally you could actually change this to be the same as downstairs, so you have the same sort of floor plan, but just for a bit of variation. And that's what next door did anyway. They have their bathroom over there instead. So, and this one has a window. Finally a bathroom with a window. Because so far we haven't got any of them in this house. So, bathroom with a window. But yeah, bathroom up here. Again, no decorations, which is sad. Not even a mirror in this one. There's one downstairs though, so that's fine. And in here, this is what I think would be the master bedroom. This wallpaper was a bit of a gamble. I imagine not a lot of people would like this wallpaper, but I quite enjoy it. And I never use it because I'm like, oh, does it really go? And I think it does. There's also a mirror here, so yeah, this is very plain again, but you've got the dressing table, you've got the mirror, and you've got the bed. No bedside tables. Couldn't afford them, sorry. Then down here, we have the nursery. I was going to put this downstairs because carrying your infant or toddler up and down stairs will be a bit of a pain in the ass. But I thought for gameplay for your sim to go and get them in the middle of the night to wake up and feed them and stuff like that, that'll be the better option, is to have them upstairs here. And at the moment, well, at the time, there wasn't enough room down here for me to do that. Otherwise, I probably would have done that. But yeah, this actually room is pretty decked out. You've got a little chair to read some books to them, like a little rug. It's got the changing mat, the toilet, and the bed. There's no toys, but there's a toy chest upstairs, so you could use that if you wanted to. And there's no skill building items for them either, so that's a shame. Anyway, and then moving upstairs to the final bit, we have the teen room. We have their own door with some stickers on it. Imagine this person's quite artsy, which is why I kind of did that, and have like the nice window? That's not a window. Nice mirror, the artsy door. I actually really like this room. This would be like my preferred room if I was living in this house. And I don't think the seat is accessible. It might be just about, but you can maybe put some bookshelves on here and then they can have their own little reading nook. Or you can maybe replace it with a desk, like a nice built-in desk situation. That's this house basically done. Outside the front garden as well, all the gardens are slightly different. Because this one's a starter home, I thought it'd be quite low maintenance, just a bit of gravel, a few plants, the bin, and the mailbox. So that's that. The next house is the yellow house. They've got a couple of bikes because they've got a lot of kids. A little bird bath, just because why not, bin, and the mailbox. And inside here, we've got quite a bright living room. I do really like the colour scheme with this one, actually. Yeah, so you've got a lot of seats. You've got 5 seats here. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and this is also a seat. This is like an ottoman seat. So although your Sim's sitting there, they'll be breaking their neck trying to watch a TV and getting square eyes. They can still sit there and watch TV. The Sims don't actually care. These ones aren't going to be like, your head's in the way. They're not. And technically they could sit on this one too and watch the TV. So there is enough room for 6 Sims to sit down here and watch TV. And this lot, by the way, this lot costs 43,000 simoleon. So a bit more pricey. Not quite starter home, but if you have a big family, and if you've like, especially if you're doing like a Generations Let's Play, if you've worked towards getting a big family, you probably would have a lot of funds in your household for that as well. Or you just cheat it. And this has a nice gallery wall. I love doing gallery walls. I'm not usually very good at them, but I thought I look quite good. In here we've got the bathroom, just the exact same as the one over there. I don't think it even changed the mirror colour. The mirror colour is the same. And in here the kitchen's a little bit different. It's a similar layout though, so like I just imagine they would have just extended the kitchen a little bit because they've got a bigger family to feed. Although they have got less chairs. I don't really think about that. I should have kept that the same. But they've got less chairs, so that's kind of unfortunate. But I'm pretty sure I used these chairs upstairs in different rooms as well. So my mind is when they have a big family dinner, they bring down the spare chairs. I quite like doing that now, actually, for like the whole pretend story aspect of it. Like you have the extra spare chairs in the bedroom, or you use that one as a desk chair or something like that. I like the idea of that because realistically, who's going to go out and buy extra chairs? No, but it's a pretty simple kitchen. I didn't do any decorations in here. I don't know why. I'm not really a fan of decorating kitchens anymore. I didn't used to mind it, but now I just really don't care for it. Sorry about that. It's just a bit boring looking, this kitchen, but it still works fine. So you've got that one. Upstairs, the first floor, we've got what I imagine is your emo teen bedroom. I love this bedroom. This would be mine. If you couldn't tell, I'm a bit of an emo, so I love this bedroom a lot. I didn't do too much decorating by way of cluttering and stuff because it's quite a skinny room. Obviously, it's only a 3x6 room, so it's not actually that big. But I thought I'd have the desk here as like a kind of footrest or like footboard to this. A nice cluttered desk as well, because I imagine it would be quite cluttered, but they're quite like witchy vibes, quite like emo-y, dark, alternative sort of vibes. That was my general like idea. They very much like they're void critters. They're big collectors. You could maybe even put a shelf in here somewhere, maybe like back here as like the void critter collector shelf. You could maybe do that. But I thought that was quite a nice room. It's quite dark and moody, and I don't tend to do rooms like this for general builds. For my own gameplay, yes I do, but otherwise I don't. So I was quite glad to get that in here. And they actually have a Jack and Jill bathroom. So Jack and Jill bathroom is when there's 2 separate bedrooms and they both share a door into the same bathroom. And typically there's not always a door out the front, but there sometimes can be. And this time, this one I didn't decide to do that. I just left it as it is. So they just have the Jack and Jill. So in here is a very contrasting space to this, but it's a generic bathroom. So they have like a big shared counter space. This is actually this unit. I raised it up a little bit so that the toilet roll, oh my god. I raised it up so that the toilet roll sits on the counter space. And I put that like right in the corner as if it's like a built-in shelving unit. And I really like the idea of the extra storage space in there. Shower tub combo, and the toilet's tucked away quite nicely back there. I really love this bathroom. I think sharing this though with your emo-y teenager and then your pretty pink child slash teenager. I imagine this would be like an older teenager, maybe like 16, and I thought this could be like a 13-year-old, but obviously in The Sims we have kids and then teenager straight away, so I imagine this would be a younger teenager. So they've got their own like easel, some arts and crafts for the floor as well, just for decoration. They have got like an iPad computer situation, but it's not an actual computer, whereas they had a laptop over in this room. This is very like bright and airy and pink and pretty and lovely, so a very big contrast. They've also got their makeup and stuff down by the mirror, so they sit on the floor cross-legged, do the makeup. Some stickers on stuff on there. Like, I thought the story of this room would be great. I think this is definitely one if you had a family that you wanted to have a set story to, you know, having the quite like big family dynamic with the emo-y teen and the preppy, like maybe like a cheerleader sim for the teenager, like high school years sort of thing. You can do that if you have high school years. And then you go upstairs and you have the parents' room, who I think they would be just quite warm, family-loving Sims. This is their room up here. This is one of the bigger rooms, actually. It doesn't feel like it's that big, because it's technically not. This is only like 3 tiles wide, but I think just the way that this is kind of centered in here, it feels like it's maybe 5 tiles wide. I quite like it because the bedside tables bring that illusion. This is quite nice, a warm room, very clean. I imagine they would like want a very neutral zen room if they have this many kids, especially an angsty teen. And over here they have a bit of storage for the bathroom, because the bathroom next door is not very big at all. There was no room for storage. Originally this was going to be a Jack and Jill bathroom too, and I decided against it because it just didn't make sense. In here we have a quite small bathroom, but you know, it is what it is. That's why I put the storage in here. I could have made this bedroom like a bit smaller, I made the bathroom bigger, but I wanted some small variations in the floor plans at least. And I think this is like the better small variation. Like, it makes the room look a lot bigger than it actually is. So that's this bathroom. I imagine they did this one up, which is why it's slightly different. It's a bit more orangey yellow compared to downstairs, which is a bit more just like neutral. So they could have their own original bathroom, and they're going to get to the teenagers one next, maybe. This this bath is functional. You need to have the tap side of the bath free. So if you're ever building a bathroom this small, put the door on this side opposite the taps, and then you can fit those there fine, and it works, no problem. And then here we have a toddler room. You could obviously make this a nursery for an infant as well, or a brand new baby. That's entirely fine. That's no problem to do at all. They've got the potty, they've got some storage space, because again I was going to make this a Jack and Jill, but they've got their own little storage space. I imagine this would be like a fake toy chest and like some clothes, and although those wouldn't fit them, I'm just pretending that they would. They've got some skill building stuff, a load of toys dotted around down here, and the bed tucked around in the corner, and a little measuring chart. I thought it was quite a nice bedroom. And then upstairs we have a big like rumpus room sort of space. I asked my sister's stream, I was like, guys, what do I do for this? Because I already had, like, at this point I'd already furnished both houses. This is the last one to do. And I was like, I've already got one with an attic space, I've already got one with the teenager's bedroom. What do I do upstairs? And then I can't remember who it was, but they said something like just like a skill building room, or like an office space, or like a separate living room. And I was like, yeah, I'll do like all of them combined. So you've got kind of skill building because you've got your bookcase, you've got a TV with a games console, so you can do some gaming. I don't think this actually serves a purpose in game. Oh, there is a curfew thing that you can do. Okay, so that does serve a purpose. I've never used it before in my own gameplay. But there's like a little separate living room, because again, you've got a teenager, you've got a kid, you've got a toddler. You could get more kids in here too if you really wanted to, so I imagine it'd be nice if they had their own separate living space. There's a games table up here as well. I imagine this might be quite a close family dynamic. My sister requested me to put the giraffe in here, and she knows why. But yeah, it's a pretty like plain room. There's not really much colour to the walls or anything like that. But there's quite like, I think, personality in the furniture. Especially this one. Like, if you didn't have an inflatable chair when you were younger, or like an inflatable sofa or something, I don't even want to know you, because you're clearly too young, bro. Like, everyone had these from like the 90s, like the big red or pink or purple, like blow up sofas, like literal sofas. So I thought that would be like a fun throwback to that. And these are the same chairs as in the dining room. So there's 4 more chairs up here that match the dining room one, which is what I imagined you'd bring downstairs if you had like a big Christmas dinner or something like that. That's what I imagined. I also put the Christmas decoration box up here as well, just to get out of the way. But yeah, I really like this room. It's a bit of a chaotic room. There's like a lot of stuff everywhere, but I think it's actually really good, and I think it would be really handy in your own gameplay. So this house, you can fit 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Sims in this one as well. So 5 Sims on that one, 5 Sims on this one. You could put a bunk bed in here if you wanted to. You could put an extra bedroom upstairs if you wanted to. You could have an extra toddler if you really wanted to. I don't know why you would want to, but you could have a lot of extra, or maybe a baby in here, you know, so you can fit more rooms in here. So if you wanted to have extra kids or whatever, you could easily do that. So that's that house. And then the black house, this is the more modern one that you saw me build the downstairs for. They have a very clean front garden, just a few plants, but otherwise it's paved. They have a bin, mailbox, all that fun stuff. And then here, we've already seen this, so I'll just do a quick refresh of this one. Curtains, I only did one curtain so you could pull it aside. Didn't bother doing one there because it just didn't fit nicely. A bit of an asymmetrical feel in here with the weird table with asymmetrical glass and the asymmetrical sofa. The pretty fancy but plain TV area. The downstairs toilet, which is slightly different. Like, they changed the toilet seat in the mirror, but that's about it. And then the kitchen in here as well, pretty cluttered. And this is what I meant by like the little like tea station. I really wanted this in here. I don't know, I just feel like posh people love their tea and their coffee, so I wanted to put like some sort of homage to that. And I love mugs. I have a whole mug collection. I got like a 24 like mug holder thing, and I have too many mugs for it, so I love mugs. Upstairs though, you haven't seen any of this. Upstairs we have got initially what I thought would be a guest bedroom slash home office. After COVID, a lot of us have a spare room or like an extra room with a desk in it just crammed in the corner, so I kind of did that as like an afterthought, because they didn't have a desk, and I was like, well, a house this fancy, they'd have a computer somewhere, surely. They have some money. Also, this house cost 62,505 simoleons, so quite a lot more money in general for this one. But yeah, I thought they'd have some sort of desk somewhere, and I thought the spare room would be the best place to put it. But I didn't want to get rid of the spare room because I didn't want to just do a full office space, so I thought I'd have the spare room, very tidy. It's kind of like, I tried doing purple vibes, and then this blue wallpaper looked really good with it, so I just kind of did like a dark, kind of just cool toned colour scheme instead. So you've got like the purple chair and like the cool toned wood and stuff like that, but you kind of got the greys, the browns, the purples coming through as well. So I think this room looks quite nice. Through here we have got the bathroom, which is kind of like black accented, a bit more decorated, but pretty simple, pretty similar to the other bathroom in the first house. But just a bit more decoration in here. If I could have had more money for the other house, this is how I would have decorated it. Down here we have a bit more of a decorated hallway as well. We've got a rug, we've got a plant, wow, and we've got just a little sitting area with some bookshelves. I don't know, I just felt like it needed something in here, and I thought that would be fine just to have, I don't know, you just sit in your hallway. It'd be a weird place to sit, admittedly it would, but I think it just looked alright. And then in here we have like the kids room. I felt like this would be like a young kid, like they just aged up from a toddler sort of thing. They still have their playhouse, they still have like their baby books. I think this is room is quite gender neutral too, because you've got the butterflies, which are a bit more feminine typically, but you've got the lions, and you've got the rocket, and then you've also got the playhouse. So it feels like quite gender neutral, like you can really match this to any of your Sims. And I really like how this rug looks with this playhouse. Like, it looks like just it's sat on a patch of grass, and I like the illusion of that. So very nice, like greeny, bluish, yellowish toned room. I really quite like this room. Upstairs, we have a lot of conversions upstairs. So this is the third floor. Well, second floor technically, because in the UK that's the... No. Yeah, ground floor, first floor, second floor. This is the second floor. This is quite different up here. They've done a lot of renovations. Like, if you compare these ones to this, there's a lot less rooms and the stairs are completely different for one. So they've got a lot of money to move the stairs around. I don't know how easy that would be in real life, but that's what they've done. And first things first, I want to show you the bathroom. I'm going to do that in the tap mode because I was really proud of this bathroom. And I actually, oh, the camera's going to be really weird, isn't it? Because I'm on quite high. I had to be really careful not to flash any wicked whims to you guys when I was doing this because I was testing that the shower worked. But this is what it looks like in here. It's a bit cramped around here. I don't like the idea that the door shuts the toilet in, but it didn't make sense having it open the other way either. So, you know, nice toilet area, sink in there as well, and you've got a nice big corner bath and like a little table. Oh my god, a little table ready for your like toiletries and like your candles and, you know, your nice scents so you can come in here and relax. Nice little plant for the spa experience. And then here I've done like a whole walk-in shower, the platform. Realistically, you would actually want the platform to be lowered and not raised, because if it's not like properly like leveled sort of thing, the water might run it out of here. But just forget about that. But yeah, there's like a whole walk-in shower sort of situation here with some towels, and yeah, you've got, oh my lord, hang on. There we go. You've got your shower here, a little light in here as well. Oh, is that? Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. And yeah, it's quite luxurious, this one. They've definitely like put all the stops in for this bathroom. They really like themselves one. So there's actually only 2 bedrooms in this house apart from the spare room. This is only like a 2 to 3 bed house considering the fact it's a 4-floor home. But there's a lot of changes you can do to that if you want to. But yeah, nice big bathroom for them. And then through here, oh, they've got a nice decorated hallway too. They've got a little rug, love to see it. And then through here, they've got like quite a dark room. This is very much like, I am bougie, I have money, and I want to show it sort of room. So they've got like a nice big bookshelf area. I don't know, I just feel like it suited this room. This room feels very sophisticated, very grown up, and I do imagine that these guys are lawyers or doctors or something along those lines, right? They're bringing the dollars, like they can move their staircase, they're bringing a lot of dollars. So I wanted to have like a nice, what I imagine would be like all their encyclopedias, and maybe like if they have any of their own books that they've written and stuff like that, they put them in here. They have a big TV in their room as well. They have the chair, everyone knows about the chair. Put your washing on it. But I really like this room, and you know what, I love this wallpaper, and I never use this wallpaper because it just never fits anywhere. And like it just always seems too much. But in this small little corner space there, and then this little backdrop space, I feel like it just went really well. So I just thought, sod it, I never use it, I'm gonna use it today, so I used it. And then finally we have upstairs. I didn't really want to put an extra space in here. Like I didn't really, oh that's awkward. I didn't really know what to put up here. So I just did like a storage room. They've got like that old bed up here. They've got like a couple of garden chairs, maybe from their own old home. They've got some storage stuff and boxes, some old records. You can crochet and knit up here. So you can, there are actually things in here. Like this chair, I'm pretty sure your Sims are able to sit on that. That's not obstructed. So they can come up here and knit or crochet. There's also a chair here as well, and there's an easel up here, so it's not entirely just for like storage and crap, but it is like a skill building room as well. And there's some bikes as well that I imagine are just up here for storage because there's not really much room downstairs. But yeah, so this room does serve some sort of purpose. I don't know how the hell they would have got half the stuff up here, because trying to get that around that sharp corner, maybe they did it before they moved the stairs. Maybe that's what they did. Maybe before they moved the stairs, they actually, no, because even then it's a very sharp corner. I have no clue. Before they built this wall, then I don't know. But yeah, I just wanted something a bit more lofted, like an actual attic space. So this room, this house is very much for like a smaller household, but a rich household. So if you're not really too fussed about cheating money, or if your household is quite small because you don't like playing with big families, but you have a lot of money anyway, you want to move somewhere a bit more expensive, where the rents may be higher, this would probably be like a really good place to go, because technically it is only 2-bedroom with a spare room, but you could make that into a teen's bedroom if you wanted to, or a young adult's bedroom, or let that room out, maybe, up to yourself. But yeah, that's all the houses, really, and then just the outside, I didn't do too much. I did some, like, regular, what I'd imagine, like, bushes for, like, an outside space. It does look a bit odd, but it's whatevs. A little tree, and I just did some, like, flowers in some parts of the place to, like, make it blend in a bit more with the surrounding scenery and stuff, but otherwise it is very, very, like, basically, it's not really, there's not really much to it, you know, it's just a lot, because there's already some grass here, and when you're playing in live mode, these white lines won't be there, so it would feel like this is your whole lot, essentially. It's just when you're building like this, it would. But yeah, this is all of it. The whole lot value is 147,415 simoleons, so if you wanted to buy this to rent out, you're probably going to do some money cheats. I actually, if you're not against mods or anything, I have a mod to give you loans. I can't remember what one it is, but if I can find it, I'll put it in the description box. But I use the loan thing quite a lot, because it's basically like a mortgage simulator. You can get yourself a mortgage, buy a house, and pay it back. Like, you obviously have your regular bills on top of that, but you have that in real life anyway. You have your mortgage payment, and you have your gas, electric, and water bills. So I use the loan one to give me a bit more realism, but give me a bit more options when it comes to buying things like this. And I think it goes hand in hand, really, with for rent, because you can buy big things, you can buy like big houses and then pay that back as you normally would, but you might end up hemorrhaging money depending on how much you're charging rent for. It depends on really how much your payments are. But that's a mod that I use, so if you're interested, I will try and put that in the description box if I remember. If not, I'm so sorry. That's it for me. This is already up in the gallery, I think. If not, I'll put it up there in a minute. So yeah, let me know what you think if you want to play with it. There are a lot of packs though. Can I find out how many packs there are? A lot of packs. I think it's a given for builds like this. Oh, did I use like every single pack? I might have used every single pack. Oh my god. I do try to make the conscientious effort though to not use like kits and stuff apart from small little cluttery things that don't really matter. So if you're missing quite a lot of these packs, you might not be that inconvenienced. There are some things that don't really matter at all. As long as you have things like the kitchen counters, I think you're usually quite fine. But yeah, if this isn't already on the gallery, it should be. I'll put it on there anyway. And yeah, let me know what you think. And again, please put in the comments if you have any video ideas that you'd like to see in the future. And if you want to see more of my videos, make sure to subscribe. subscribe. Yeah, thanks for being here. I appreciate it. Thanks for sticking along video. I think it's going to be quite a long one. But yeah, thanks so much for watching. I appreciate it very much. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.
It's that first day of first grade, that cute girl, your third day, that backpack, that snapback you've had since the third grade. The first time you got laid, the worst time you got played. It hurt, but you're okay. You learn from your mistakes. Your friends back